Hey everybody, Don from Top Guns here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Today we're going to look at the brand new, just released Glock Gen 5. So before we get into the details of the new Gen 5, it's important to note that this is only being released right now in the 17 and 19 models. Who knows if this will change in the future? We'll just have to wait and see what Glock does. I'm sure everybody out there is familiar with the Glock Gen 4, so let's jump right into the Gen 5 and see what they changed. The first thing you're going to notice when you pick up the new Gen 5 is the fact that the dreaded finger grooves are finally gone. All the modifications that everybody out there has made to get rid of those, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's coming from the factory that way. It feels much, much better. It feels slimmer in the hands, but they actually kept the texture from the Gen 4, which I really like. The next thing you're going to notice on the grip is the fact that the mag well is now flared out. It's not overly flared like a race gun or anything like that. It's just a little bit. It does sit up against the palm, makes the gun feel a little more comfortable, but it's definitely going to aid you in magazine reloads. One of the things you'll notice is they beveled the slide in front of the muzzle. They did this to help the transition and reduce snagging in and out of holsters. Is this going to mean anything to the average shooter? Probably not. One of the things that Glock did not do, which I really wish they would have, is like they did on the Glock Gen 4S, adding the cocking serrations. This would have been a fantastic feature for the new Gen 5. Glock is giving you 3 factory options on the new Gen 5. Ameriglow night sights, steel sights, or the traditional polymer Glock sight. On the Gen 5, just like the Gen 4, the magazine release is reversible for left-handed shooters. But what Glock has added is a left-handed slide stop to make this a truly ambidextrous gun. As far as the magazine goes, there has been a few changes. They've added a new orange follower, so this does a couple things for you. One, when you're trying to make your weapon safe, you open your slide to check it, you can easily see that that magazine is now empty. Another real advantage to this, if you want to pull your magazine out and do a round count, it's much easier to see through those tiny little holes, a bright orange follower as opposed to a black follower. The next thing they did is they put in a larger magazine plate, so if you are doing reloading drills or you have to reload for some reason, it's going to be a little faster and a little more positive. Now, the big question around here has been, will these new magazines work with my older model? The answer is yes. I can tell you for sure that I'm going to grab some of these when they're available and get them for my older models. We all know how much money you can wrap up in custom Kydex holsters, so you'll be happy to hear that the Gen 5 will fit in all of your Gen 4 holsters. So that takes care of the changes to the outside of the new Gen 5. Where Glock made some huge changes are the internals. That's what we're going to cover next. The safety plunger has been redesigned. It went from a circular shape to a bevel block. This makes the trigger bar move smoother against the striker safety. Glock also went back to the 2-pin system from the Gen 2. This eliminates the need for the locking block pin. I'm not really sure how much of a difference this is going to make, but fewer parts usually means fewer problems. Glock has added a new finish to the Gen 5, the NDLC, for both the slide and the barrel. This is an ion bonded coating that Glock claims is the toughest and most durable finish they've ever produced on any of their guns. So basically what Glock is saying with this new finish is you get an increased protection against scratches, corrosion, things like that. And if you're one of those people that doesn't keep your gun in meticulous shape, oiled and cleaned all the time, it's going to be more reliable. The one thing that Glock did keep from the Gen 4 is a 2-stage recoil spring. This recoil spring reduces felt recoil to the shooter by up to 25%. One of the things Glock has never changed on any of their firearms regardless of model is the barrel. Now in the Gen 5, they released a brand new Glock marksmanship barrel to increase accuracy. This new barrel, which features a smaller crown providing a tighter fit for projectiles, has a new kind of rifling for increased accuracy. The barrel sets a new standard, with the old one being 4-inch groups at 25 yards. The Gen 5 now says 4 inches at 50 yards. Arguably, this is one of Glock's biggest improvements between the Gen 4 and the Gen 5, especially considering that they've never changed their barrel. So what does all this mean for Glock's new Gen 5? As many of you probably know, there was a modular handgun system competition that ended in 2017 to determine what company would get the military contract with the Army to replace their service firearms, since the Beretta M9 had been in place since 1980. And while you can replace almost everything on that particular gun, you can't replace the frame, which eventually becomes no longer serviceable. One of the tests to determine which firearm would be selected for this contract required 12,500 rounds to be fired, with an average 1 stoppage per 2,000 rounds. Only Glock and Sig Sauer passed the reliability test, but in the end, Sig was still selected for the contract. Because of this, Glock decided to go forward with the Gen 5 anyway, and now claims that it can go 30,000 rounds of this test, maintaining the stoppage rate that was required for it with only 1 stoppage for every 2,000 rounds. That's pretty impressive for any firearm on the market. Together, all these changes result in Glock's most accurate and reliable firearm to date. Glock is always looking for ways to improve on perfection, and I honestly think they did it without a doubt in the Gen 5. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this review. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. I kind of felt like Babe Winkleman.
want one. I mean, no question about it. That's 7 rounds right there inside of Silver Dollar. Yeah, I want one.
Get it?
4 hits. All 4 of them.